Today I'm going to be sharing a story that I think we've all probably experienced at one time or another. It starts out as a trip to Wichita, Kansas. I took a day off from work. I was kind of worn out. Thought I'd go up and just have a little recreation. Went downtown. I was just kind of walking down the streets. It was a bright sunny day. So I was looking in the windows and a little window shopping, even though I didn't have but about 20 bucks in my pocket. Just something to get some fresh air and get away from everything. Well, I strolled along down the street there, passing by these large windows, store windows. And I noticed in a couple of windows down that a reflection of a guy behind me is walking along with me. I thought, well, maybe he's just looking also. So I walked on down the street and looking in some more windows, and there he was again. I got to thinking, it's a little strange. I thought, well, do a little more shopping. So I went on down the street a little bit further, and there he was again. So finally I turned around just to see what was going on, and it was a tall, young Indian man, real thin, kind of scraggly looking, and you could smell alcohol on his breath. I said, "Can I help you?" He said, "I was wondering if you had a dollar or two you could loan me or give me, because I was up here partying with my friends, and they left me here overnight, and now I have no way to get back." And I got to thinking, well, I have $20 in my pocket I was going to use to just eat lunch. And I thought, well, I'm not going to give him that $20. So I said, "No, brother, I really don't have it." And he said, "Well, okay, thank you much." And he turned around and walked off. Well, I started walking on down the street, and then all of a sudden it hit me. I remember the scripture saying something about entertaining strangers, and that you never know when an angel or a servant of God is going to appear to you, and always treat those strangers as you would friends. So it hit me hard. So I turned around, and he was nowhere in sight. And it had only just been a few seconds. So I started getting a little worried about it. Did I just make a mistake? Was I just entertaining an angel or a servant of God? So I ran to my car and got in, and I drove around the blocks. Drove around several blocks. I bet I spent 15, 20 minutes driving around blocks. This guy was nowhere in sight. Now, it hadn't been that long, so he couldn't have disappeared like that. So it stuck with me. You know, I could have offered him to take him and get him something to eat, but I didn't. So I think this story is just to let you know that sometimes God sends people to test us, to see how we're doing, to see if we're going to be the good people that we proclaim we are. And that leaves an indelible message with you. And ever since then, and this was back many, many years ago, that story has stuck with me. So, if you are approached by a stranger on the street, just be aware that you may be entertaining an angel. If you have stories like this or comments to make, please put them down in the comments. I appreciate it. I'd love to hear from you. So, have a great day.